The town of Ashvale was the kind of place that looked beautiful only from far away. Postcard pretty hills and autumn leaves. But underneath it all, something old and wrong pulsed like a heartbeat. Every October, when the nights grew long and the wind carried whispers through the pines, the townsfolk locked their doors early. They said that on Halloween, the witches of Ashvale gathered in the forest, and that if you listened closely, you could hear Baphomet whisper your name from the dark. Most people laughed it off, except Clara Vance. Clara wasn't from Ashvale. She'd come up from Boston to finish her graduate thesis on witchcraft and pagan survivals in New England folklore. Her professor had told her that Ashvale's archives held records dating back to the witch trials, some of the oldest in the country. But the librarian, a woman named Mrs. Crane, had warned her. "You can read anything you like," she said, sliding a dusty box across the desk. "But don't touch the Book of the Horned One. That one's not for study." Clara smiled politely. "I'll be careful." She wasn't. The book was bound in cracked black leather, stamped with a sigil that looked like a goat's head surrounded by a circle of runes. Inside, the pages were filled with ritual instructions, invocations, offerings, and diagrams of circles under the heading, "For the night when the veil thins." Halloween, Samhain, the night between. One symbol in particular caught her eye. A circle of 12 candles surrounding a figure with wings, a torch between its horns, and words written beneath in Latin. "Solve et coagula," dissolve and reform. She copied it into her notes. That was her first mistake. On Halloween night, Clara hiked out to the forest behind the town, searching for the ruins of the Ashvale Covenstead, an old meeting place mentioned in her research. The trees there grew unnaturally close together, their trunks scorched black near the roots. Fog hung low, and the air carried the faint smell of smoke and iron. She found it, a clearing littered with stone fragments, as if an old chapel had once stood there. In the center was a ring of stones, half buried under moss. And someone had been there recently. There were candles, burned almost to the base, ash from a fire pit still warm. And drawn into the dirt, with perfect precision, was the same goat-headed sigil from the book. Then she heard it, faint, rhythmic chanting, echoing from the trees, voices low and deliberate, moving closer. She crouched behind a fallen log, just as a procession of figures in black cloaks entered the clearing. 12 of them, each carrying a candle. The leader's voice was deep and cold. "On this night of Samhain, when the veil is thinnest, we call upon the light of the abyss. We summon thee, Baphomet, the balance of all things, to walk once more among us." The torches flared and the air shimmered. Clara's breath hitched. Something, some presence, moved through the clearing, bending the smoke around it. The leader knelt before the fire, cutting her palm with a silver blade. Blood fell onto the dirt, sizzling as it hit the sigil. By flesh, by fire, by breath, we opened the gate. The ground trembled. The candles flickered blue. The air grew heavy, almost liquid, and the scent of burnt earth filled Clara's lungs. Then came a voice, not human, not from the air, but from inside her skull. "Who dares write my name?" Clara clamped a hand over her mouth. The voice was inside her, in her blood, her bones. The witches froze. The leader lifted her head sharply, eyes glowing faintly in the torchlight. "There is another in the circle," she said. Every head turned toward the trees. Toward her. Before Clara could run, something cold and unseen closed around her wrist and dragged her into the clearing. The leader caught her by the arm. A woman, maybe 50, with sharp eyes and skin pale as wax. "Did you think the Horned One wouldn't notice?" She whispered. "You drew his seal. You called him." "I didn't," Clara stammered, trembling. "It was research." They forced her to her knees in the center of the circle. The candles flared higher, and the sigil beneath her began to glow, faint red lines pulsing like veins. The leader raised her arms, chanting faster, her voice trembling with ecstasy. "Come forth, Baphomet, the equilibrium of flesh and spirit, the Lord between light and dark." Clara tried to scream, but the air itself seemed to push down on her chest. Her skin crawled, her heart thundered, and then she saw him. The air tore open above the circle, a fissure in reality, wide and seething. From within poured smoke and shadow, forming the outline of something winged and immense. A goat's skull crowned with fire, eyes like molten metal, and beneath it, the vague form of a man and beast entwined. Baphomet. He looked down at Clara, and the chanting fell silent. "You carry my mark," he said, though the sound wasn't sound at all. It was meaning, sliding into her thoughts like oil. "You drew the gate, but did not know the key." She tried to speak, but the words caught in her throat. "Fear not. Balance demands both offering and acceptance." The leader bowed low. "We offer her, Lord." But Baphomet's burning eyes turned toward the coven. "No, you would feed me ignorance. I crave knowledge." The witches stiffened. The leader's face paled. Then the fire erupted, a ring of blinding white, and the air filled with screaming. One by one, the witches burst into flame, their shadows twisting upward like smoke caught in reverse. Clara felt herself lifted from the ground. The sigil beneath her burned through her clothes, into her skin. "You will remember," Baphomet said. "You will walk in both worlds, and your name shall open doors that were meant to stay closed." The last thing she saw before she blacked out was his hand, hooved and human all at once, pressing a burning mark into her chest. Clara woke up at dawn in the ruins of the clearing. The candles were gone. No bodies, no blood, just the faint smell of smoke and a blackened symbol in the dirt. She stumbled back to town in a daze. Mrs. Crane met her at the library door. "You opened it, didn't you?" she whispered. Clara lifted her shirt. The sigil was burned into her skin, faint, like a scar, but pulsing gently beneath the flesh. Mrs. Crane only nodded. "Then the forest owns you now." Every Halloween after that, strange things happened in Ashvale. Lights in the woods, voices in the wind, people dreaming of a winged figure, whispering secrets in the dark. Clara never left. She said she had work to finish. She spent her nights in the woods, writing by candlelight, filling notebooks with symbols no one could read. And sometimes, on All Hallows' Eve, travelers swore they saw her standing in the clearing, surrounded by a circle of flame, the mark on her chest glowing like a star. A new coven had formed, they said, and she was its high priestess. And if you walked through the Ashvale woods at midnight, you might hear the faint echo of a chant carried by the wind. As above, so below. Solve et coagula. The Horned One walks again. Then you have studied enough, the woman said. Now you'll learn the price. Thank you for listening. Join our always growing legion. Discover Satan World.